Hello everyone, thanks for joining us today and welcome to this educational presentation of how to trade with a purpose. Now, I know if I asked most traders, in fact most of you out there, we have a fairly large crowd joining us today. If I asked most of you if you traded with a purpose, I'm sure the majority of you would say yes, we do. But it's been my experience in over 4 decades of trading that the majority of traders actually do not trade with a purpose at all. In fact, they're just basically blindly wandering around in the investment community, wondering what they should do and if their position is okay. For example, let's take a look at this chart, this current chart in Facebook. All right, as we can see, the stock coming up to this past week or so was doing fairly well. Well, let's say you are already invested in this or had decided to, let's say, particularly get involved right here. And then bad news about the growth of the company, financial news came out, and we had this tremendous drop in one day, which happened just last week, okay? This is the way most traders trade. They're caught off guard. They're already saying, I'm a victim. How did this happen to me? But I'm going to be sharing with you today how to trade with a purpose so that, most of the time, now, even though not guaranteed, at least you could have found ways in which to protect yourself. For example, with what I'm going to be sharing with you today, you could have actually entered into the stock right here after knowing and learning how to apply clear-cut buy signals. And prior to this large sell-off here, you would have had options in which to sell, which could have netted you over 10, close to 11 points in less than a couple of weeks. So this is what trading with a purpose is, having a plan in place and taking responsibility for your actions because you're in charge of your own trading destiny. I'm going to show you how simple it is to do all of this by using our new platform. This is the PTS Primo charting platform. I developed this with my sister site, Pro Trader Strategies, and we believe it is the educational portal that teaches you how to trade with a purpose. So this promises to be a great presentation today. Thanks for joining us. My name is Primo. I am the president and founder of Specialist Trading. And about 8 or 9 years ago, I teamed up with Pro Trader Strategies, where all we do is simply educate and mentor our students around the world in over 116 countries and in virtually every state in the United States, all the tips, techniques, and methods that I've accumulated in my 41-plus year career of trading and of being involved in the markets. Now, I started my career on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange some 41 years ago. I was on the floor for a total of 16 years. 9 of those years I was a specialist. That's where we get the name Specialist Trading. Now, specialist doesn't mean you're any more special than anyone else. It just simply means that if you wanted to buy a stock from someone, or you say you wanted to purchase IBM, well, you had to go to the trader who specialized in making a market. That's where you purchased or sold that particular equity. Well, I did that. I made markets in roughly 50 or 60 stocks as I was a specialist. I made markets during the crash of 1987 and the bull market that followed. I've traded straight up markets, straight down markets. I've traded sideways markets, boring markets. I've traded just about every system, every technique, every strategy you can think of. So in my over 4 decades of experience, I know what works in terms of consistency and I know what doesn't work. So that's why we formulated Specialist Trading, to simply teach you all these things that have shown high levels of consistency so that you can educate yourself and put yourself in the driver's seat so that you don't have to rely on an outside source telling you how to trade. You can do it for yourself. So we mentor students around the world and in the United States with all the things that have shown high levels. Now, before we begin, as always, we are required by law to share this with you, so please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results using the particular techniques today that I'm going to be teaching you, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And also, please remember that all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. As you're taking a brief moment to view our disclaimer, I would also like to take this time to invite each and every one of you, if you haven't done so already, to follow us on Twitter. There's our handle right there. You may want to copy that down, abbreviation for Specialist Trading. Every day I post new, different information, anywhere from signals that our strategies have generated to little bits of financial wisdom I've accumulated along the way. So lots of great free information. Feel free to follow us on Twitter. Now, as I stated in the very opening statements, we're a little bit different from other webinars or companies you may have visited in the past in the fact that our only goal, our only purpose is simply to educate you. Right? We don't promise to have the perfect method that never loses. In fact, if anyone ever said that, I would run, because I've been trading for over 4 decades now, and some of the best traders I know will lose occasionally. And we're not here to tell you what the perfect market is, what the perfect stock to buy is, what the perfect time frame is. We don't believe in that. What we're here to do is to simply teach you how to identify these things on your own, the same way I was taught some 41 years ago. When I started trading, I had no idea what I was doing. I was taught all the same basics that everyone is taught today, and guess what? They didn't work. Nothing worked for me. I struggled for my first year or so trading. It wasn't until I met my mentors, these were specialists on the floor, who taught me how to trade, and that's what I do with all my students around the world, is teach them the same things that have allowed me and sustained me for over 4 decades now. So as you see here, my goal is not to trade for you. My goal is not to force feed you with signals and tell you what the perfect market is and tell you what stock to buy. I don't believe in that. My goal is simply to teach you how to trade with the specialist edge. It's the same edge that turned my trading around some 4 decades ago. Hopefully, it will be able to do the same for yours, okay? Now, since this is going to be an educational class today, I want to take each and every one of your questions, but we have a really good crowd here, and if I stop for every slide I'm going to share with you, we'll be here for a good 3 or 4 hours. I don't want to take your entire day up. So if you happen to have a question, kindly wait till the end of class to ask them, okay? I promise I'll get to each and every one, and the only question I will answer is the most popular one, and that is this being recorded? Yes, we record all of our webinars, so if you have to leave early, or if you're having technical difficulties, many times if you log off and log back on, it'll be resolved. But if not, we will send each and every one of you a link to this recording, okay? So if you happen to join us late, please wait till the end of today's class to ask any questions. It won't be very long, probably the next 20, 25 minutes. All right, with that said, let's begin. Now, I'm here to talk today about how to trade with a purpose. That's the title of today's presentation. Now, this always brings me back. I think the best way to describe this is the very first time I went to New York. When I had first started trading on the floor, I was the assistant to a specialist, and he sent me back to New York to go meet all of the trading specialists on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. And I was working on the Pacific Stock Exchange in Los Angeles. I had never been back east. I had never been to New York. So I remember I was so excited to go to the floor that morning. I left my hotel and started to walk to the stock exchange, about a good 7 or 8 block walk. Something I noticed here caught my eye, and I continue to think about it on a daily basis. The first thing I noticed is that, being from Los Angeles, everyone was walking differently. Everyone was walking at probably twice the pace I was. They all had a clear-cut plan as to where they were going. No one was usually talking. They were all deep in thought or focused on what they wanted to do. They all knew what direction they were going. They all knew what time they were supposed to get at where they were headed. And they were basically walking with a clear-cut distinction and a purpose. And I thought about in Los Angeles, it's the exact opposite. Most of the people, you take your time, you'll walk outside, you want to get somewhere. You're not exactly sure how to get there, but don't worry, you'll find out or find a way. Maybe you'll stop along the way to get something to eat or get an ice cream. You'll do a little window shopping. You're basically grazing. Now, this is the same way people trade. Because one way is basically doing something without a purpose. You're just taking your time and seeing where you'll end up. Another way is actually trading with a purpose, with a clear-cut plan, a clear-cut discipline as to know when, how, and where, and how long it's going to take you to get there. Now, it doesn't guarantee you will, but at least you have a discipline in place. That's what trading with a purpose is. It's a clear-cut discipline that you are implementing. Now, look at your own trading. Think of how you make a decision. Think of what made you decide to get into trading. Think of why you're in a position, and mostly think about why things aren't working. Because the majority of traders fail. It's been estimated upwards of 80 to 85% of all traders fail. And I think one of the main reasons is you're trading without a purpose. So in order to find out how to trade with a purpose, we first had to decide how not to trade with a purpose. So if you are making your trading decisions or investments, it doesn't matter if you're trading daily bars, weekly, or monthly bars, but if you're making your decisions based off of fundamental news, that's not trading with a purpose, okay? Trust me, I was taught to make my decisions based off earnings, based off the companies, based off who the CEO was 41 years ago, and it didn't work for me. So there's actually no guarantee that's going to work now. If you're basing your decisions on let's say you go to a chat room or some blog you read, all right, that's not trading with a purpose. Because what you're doing is taking yourself out of the game. You're letting someone decide for you what you should buy, when you should sell, and you're basically wandering aimlessly, okay? And then lastly, if you're making a decision based off, some company you saw on TV, or you think it's good because your brother-in-law told you about it and it sounds really interesting, and after all, he should know what he's talking about, so I guess I'll invest in that in my 401k, that's not trading with a purpose. All right, this is the way the majority of most traders or investors trade. They're relying on an outside source to tell them what to do. And what you've done without knowing is take yourself out of the game. You've basically said, I don't know what to do. You've told the markets, I have no idea. I'm not smart enough. I'm not educated enough. So I'll let you do it for me. And that's why most traders fail. And the reason why we're not taught how to do this is because we're not given the proper education. I know I wasn't. I was taught the same things you were probably taught, in the last year or two. You got to find out what the company's doing. You got to look at the earnings. You got to see the product they make. You see who the CEO is. You find out what the blogs or what somebody says on TV or a chat room. I was taught those things decades ago, and they didn't work then because there's no consistency to them. So we have to find out, how can we become a purposeful trader? How can we walk down the street with a clear-cut plan? Well, here's what my mentors taught me when they saw me struggling some 4 decades ago. In order to trade with a purpose, you need 2 things. You need a consistent trading plan that's not based on a chat room, that's not based on what the company makes or what they provide, but it's based on the market behavior. In other words, based on what the chart in front of you is saying, because that's the only thing that matters. You're not trading the earnings. You're not trading the CEO. You're not investing in that. What you're investing in is the chart in front of you. So you have to learn how to understand its market behavior. And guess what? It's a lot easier to figure that out than it is to figure out what the earnings are going to be, or to figure out what the company's going to do, how the company's going to do in the next 5 or 10 years. That's not very simple. If that were so simple, then everyone would be a multimillionaire. But it's usually the opposite. So as you can see here, you need a plan. You need this discipline in place. And the most important thing about point A is that it has to be consistent. What do we mean by consistent? Well, consistent really means that you have to allow room for losses, because we know that losses will occur. Don't ever let anyone tell you that losses are unnatural. Losses are perfectly natural. The thing is, you may have or experience losses every once in a while. That's okay as long as they don't dominate what you're doing. So consistent means a 2-step forward, 1-step back approach. 2-step forward meaning you're going well. The 1 step back means a small loss from time to time, but that's okay. All right? So we need something that's consistent, because we know we will have losses from time to time. Now, is there a way to better our odds, even with this consistent method? Yes, there is. Which brings us to the second requirement. We can also have a tool that filters out these bad trades from the good ones. That will increase our odds for consistency. So we need a plan that's consistent, and then we need a tool that will make us even more consistent. All right, so how can we do that? Well, let me share with you what we provide at Pro Trader Strategies and Specialist Trading. We provide both of these services. Our strategy is strategy number 4. This was something that was taught to me over 4 decades ago. I continue to use it on a daily basis in some capacity. In fact, I used it today, intraday trading the futures. But let me give you some highlights of this particular method. It's for virtually all traders, from beginners to advanced. So I don't want you to think, if you've been only trading for maybe a couple of years, maybe you've never traded before, or maybe just a couple of weeks, that you can't catch on to this. Because I was taught this when I didn't know anything about trading, and it really helped me. So whether you've been trading 30 years or 30 minutes, everyone gets the same basic format. And we work with you as your mentor and your teacher to go out from there, all right? It was originally designed for traders looking to catch quick momentum moves. All right, when we first had it, when I first started trading it some 40 years ago, I was on the floor and I was getting in and out of the market in roughly 5-10 minutes. But we've designed ways to stay in it, if you want to, weeks, months, even years if you'd like. Now, its intensity level from 1 to 3 is a very moderate number 2. So in other words, if you traded a strategy where you could not literally leave your computer, it was a level number 1, or you had a strategy that was a level number 3 that was so simple, all you had to do was enter an order and walk away for weeks, it's a very moderate number 2. It only uses one indicator. That's it. That's how simple it is. And we teach you all of these rules in the course. It can be applied to any time frame, any direction, and in any market. So I don't want you to think, if you say this and say, well, Steve, I don't trade daily bars. I'm an investor. I like to look at weekly time frame or monthly. That's fine. You can use it there. Or if you say, well, Steve, I don't really trade stocks. I intraday trade futures or the forex pairs. Fine. We have some of our best trades and some of our best students use it on the forex markets, even on Bitcoin. Makes no difference. Okay. Now, members will receive automatically on our platform buy and sell indications. But remember, they're there for educational purposes only, a way in which to check your work. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in just a few seconds. Because we teach you everything so that you know exactly what to look for. Now, our edge at Specialist Trading is consistency. We're not here, once again, to tell you that every trade's a winner. I'm going to show you a few examples of where we will have some small minor losses in a little bit. And that's perfectly normal. But remember, we're looking for consistency. Consistency will sustain you, not some fly-by-night system or method that costs $10,000 that works maybe well for a couple of months and then gives everything back. This is the way most traders, myself included, trade when they're just so desperate. They're looking for something or someone to tell them or make money for them. Okay? This is a plan that I've been using and it has sustained me for over 40 years, but it is consistent. Is there a way to increase our consistency? Yes, there is. We apply a tool, remember, that can filter out. We want a filter that can filter out some of those losses. That filter is also something I was taught some 4 decades ago on the floor that I've been using on a daily basis, and it's called the PET-D. It's an early trend detector, and it can also be applied to confirm your signal, so you know whether you should be taking that signal or not. Let me show you what I mean here. As we look at this chart, this is the way most traders will trade or invest. They'll see something going up. Remember, there's no purpose, and they'll say, you know what, my sister's friend's cousin told me they like this stock. It's going up, so I'm going to buy it. Okay, I like what they make, and it seems like it's pretty good, and so I guess that's all I need to know, right? So you purchase, and then this happens, right? What if there were a tool that could tell us when something is going up or when something's going down? Not pick the top or pick the bottom, but at least give us a fair early warning when the trend has changed. Well, on our platform, it's as simple as clicking on the PET-D right here in our upper green strategy tab, and then automatically the colors will change from either green or red. If you see a series of green bars, regardless of time frame, regardless of market, that tells you that the short-term trend is up. If you see a series of red bars, the short-term trend is down. So rather than buying somewhere around here and then getting stuck holding on and hoping and praying for it to go back up, you would have seen that the trend had changed and that you shouldn't be in this anymore. Okay? So as it says here, the beauty of the PET-D is that it tells you which direction you should be trading. And once you know that, you can confirm if your strategy is in sync with that direction. All right, so we talked about point number one, requirement one, is having a strategy, a method that is based off of market behavior, based off the chart that has a high level of consistency. Then we talked about requirement number two, which is adding a tool, a filter, in this case, the PET-D, which can kind of weed out some of those losing trades. Now, when we combine these two things, we have what we call our synergy for success. We call it the dynamic duo because this is probably our most popular as well as successful combination today in terms of consistency with any market, any time frame, any direction. Let me share with you this example again of how you could have applied this to Facebook. Remember, we stated that most traders just blindly go through investments or trades. They have no idea. They go to a chat room or watch TV or say, well, my cousin likes this, so I guess I'll buy it. And that's their reason for investing or for trading. And that's trading without a purpose. Once you have a purpose, we teach you in the course what to look for. Now, once you took our course, you would have said, well, okay, I'm looking at this right here, and what Steve taught me to look for, which is very simple, I think that there's a buy setup right here. So let me share with you how simple it is with our platform and the education, how simple it is to check your work. If you thought that there was a buy setup right here, it's as simple as going up to our green strategy tab, clicking on strategy 4, and a drop-down menu appears. All you have to do is click on signal arrow because it will verify and validate whether a signal was generated. And as you can see, yes. So you were right. You're learning the method. You know how to spot on your own. You don't have to wait for someone to tell you how to trade or what to trade. You know what to look for. And there was a buy signal. But remember, we said that it's not guaranteed that this trade's going to work. Nothing's ever guaranteed. Even though it has a high level of consistency that all the requirements have been met, is there a way to ramp up our level of consistency? Yes, there is. What we want to do is confirm it with the pet D. Remember, we want the color to be green. So all we need is to click on the pet D tab here, and the colors automatically change from green to red. Now we have the majority green here, but then we have some splashing of red. All we need is to have the bar that is above the green arrow, in this case the buy setup, to either be colored or outlined green, as we see here. That's all, because that's the pet D telling us that you're green lighted, okay? You have confirmation that this signal has a high level of consistency in it. And as you can see, it went up. Now, even though the news came out and someone without trading with a purpose would have said, well, Steve, this doesn't work. See, I was just blindly in this and now it went down. Well, we supply our students not only with signals for entry, we also tell them where to protect themselves if something like this should happen. We provide you with many different exit points, and one of the exit points could have been right here, which could have netted you anywhere from 10 to 11 point profit in less than a couple of weeks. So this is what trading with purpose is. You're in charge, you're making your decisions, and you're trading with a plan that's based off of discipline. It's not just aimlessly walking down the street and saying, well, I guess I'll get there when I get there. I have no idea where I'm going, no direction, no time frame, but just kind of enjoy it while it happens. Well, if you trade like that, that's okay. You may do well sometimes, but every once in a while, something like this will come out of the blue to bite you. And it's because you don't have a purpose. You need to have a plan in place. So let's show you some other recent dynamic duo examples that happened in the last month or so, just to show you how simple it is. That we're not going to look back at 10 years and show you something that could have worked 10 years ago. This could have worked in the last month. In fact, later on in the presentation, I'll show you something where you could have potentially captured over 20 points in something that happened in the last couple of weeks. All right, so let's look at KLAC. All right, so if you're a student of mine, you take the Strategy 4 course and the Dynamic Duo course, you say, okay, well, I've been studying the online information Steve's given me, and I think from what I've learned that there's some buy opportunity right here. In fact, there may be a signal. So it's as simple as clicking on Strategy 4 tab, clicking on the signal arrows, and yes, it was confirmed. You're right. You're learning. You're in charge of your trading destiny. Great. So in order to see if this will have a higher level of consistency, we click on the pet D, and we want to make sure that the bar that is above the arrow is colored green. And guess what? It is. Even though the bar before was red, it makes no difference. That's not the bar where all the requirements are met. The requirements all came together. Everything, signals a buy setup that is above the bar. So that's the one, or I should say is above the arrow. So that's the bar that we need to be colored green. And as we can see, we went up in the next days right after that. There was nothing you had to wait for. It went immediately up. Now, remember, we give you a variable of different exits to take. You could have taken 1 point gain off this. You could have taken up to 5 points. It's up to you. But inevitably, things will run out of gas, so you always have to protect yourself. For example, this happened. All right. Now, someone looking at this will say, well, Steve, look at all the buy signals that were generated here. Now, I made money on this one, but these I lost all, and, this thing doesn't work. I thought they were supposed to be consistent. That's why you need the pet D. Remember, in order for a buy signal to be validated, the bar above the green arrow needs to be colored green or outline green. And what color are these buy signals? Well, they're either colored red or outlined red. So what did the pet D do? It kept us out of these losing trades. That's the beauty of this filter. So rather than take 4 trades and give everything back on these, you only had 1 winning one. Well, let's look at Yelp, okay? Let's say you had studied and you saw that some of the signals were generated. Excuse me. And we had 2 valid signals generated here, and the stock went down. And you're thinking, okay, well, those were pretty good sell signals. Now, I'm thinking about getting back in. So I want to get into Yelp, and I want to buy it because maybe my family works for the company, or maybe I think I like what they do, and I think it's a good buy. This is the way most traders make their decisions. Once again, that's trading without a purpose. You have to study what the market is telling you, the market behavior, the chart in front of you. Now, where most people would think, well, it's stopped going down, it's time to buy it again. Well, right here, a sell signal was actually being generated. If you clicked on the strategy number 4 tab, clicked on signal arrow, you would have seen that there's no reason to be buying this. Now, is it guaranteed that it's going lower? No. So let's just kind of give ourselves a little more, validation. All we do is click on the pet D, and yes, it's validated because the sell signal, the red arrow, is colored red. The bar below it is colored red. And so that's confirming that this is a high priority, that it most likely will go down. Not guaranteed, but there's high level of consistency in this sell trade. So if you're thinking about buying because your cousin works for the company, don't do it. The odds are against you. There's no purpose with that type of, and as you can see, the stock went lower. Let's look at this example in Pepsi right here. This was in the middle of July, just last month. The stock was going relatively higher, kind of went sideways, and then had a big gap up. Now, this is where if you go to the chat rooms or watch the guys on TV, they say, well, sure, it had a big bounce up this one day, but you know what? It's tremendously overbought. All the indicators say that it went up too quickly. It's too expensive. The stock should be roughly priced around 110, and it's way too high right now, so there's no way you should be buying this, okay? We'll wait for it to come down. Well, that's, once again, what the definition of trading without a purpose is. Listening to someone else who really has no higher level of credentials than anyone else, because you're basing it off of what he's thinking or what he's coming up with his decisions on. Remember, we don't listen to outside sources tell us what to do. That is the main reason why most traders, investors fail. You're relying on someone to tell you how to do it. Rely on the chart in front of you. That's the source. That's the only thing you need to rely on. So what's it telling us? Well, there's a buy signal right there. This is all taught in the class. You'll know exactly how to identify this. In order to verify and confirm, you apply the pet D, and yes, it's outlined green. So where everyone is telling you it's too high, actually, there's good odds that it's going to go higher. And as you can see, it did. Had you waited for it to come down and to buy it, you would have had to wait a while. Let's look at letter G here. Now, this is a great example of what we talk about consistency. Remember, consistency means, in its true definition, that you will have losses from time to time. You may experience them. That's okay. We have a filter that oftentimes can keep us out of those losses. So some of the times you've heard the best trades are the ones you don't take. For example here, letter G was going straight down and then it quickly reversed and bounced. Most people would look at this and say, wow, it hit a bottom. Maybe that's it. The institutions are buying this. The volume is great. The company produces a great product. I'm going to buy this. All right? That's the way most traders trade without a purpose, all based on faulty assumptions. We don't care about those things. I've been trading for 41 years now. I never look at the news. In fact, I stopped looking at news 4 decades ago. I never look at earnings. Half the stocks or companies I trade, I have no idea what they do. So how is it that I'm still here? It's because there is no reason to use those things if you don't want to. There's absolutely no reason. Why? Because the chart in front of you tells you everything you need to know. The only problem is we've never been taught how to listen to that. We're always taught how to listen to some guy on TV, how to listen to the earnings, how to listen to what the company's doing. There's no reason to do that. The simplest thing is just to listen to the market. So what's the market telling us? Well, right here, it's telling us, based on the rules of strategy 4, which are extremely simple, that it's most likely going lower. Okay? Now, are we guaranteeing this? No. But if we click on strategy 4 signal arrow, 2 sell signals. So if you're thinking about buying this, most likely the odds are not in your favor. But we still want a higher level of consistency. So let's add the pet D, because look what happened. The stock went up. So actually it was a good buy. So the sell signal, strategy 4, didn't work. Had I taken them, I would have had a loss, a couple of losses. Let's see what the pet D would have done for us though. We press the pet D and the colors automatically change. In order to have a valid sell signal, these bars need to be colored or outlined red. And what color are they? They're green. So the pet D was telling you that even though the strategy is saying sell, it's not being confirmed. So you would not have sold, and even though you couldn't have taken advantage of this up market, you would not have lost anything. And that sometimes is more important than having a winning trade. Because when you lose, it gets you very frustrated and depressing, and then you think, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. So So oftentimes, some of the best trades are the ones you never take. Now here's an example in VLO, all right? As we can see, the market went straight up, quickly reversed, and went straight down. Now we had a series of buy signals. 1, 2, 3. They all looked good, okay? As we got buy signals, the stock went higher until we got to this fourth buy signal, and then look what happened. It went lower, all right? So these are all signals that are generated from the strategy. How could the number 2 portion of our purposeful requirement have helped us, adding the tool which filters out some of these losing trades? Well, we simply click on the pet D, and we see here that each and every one of these buy signals was confirmed because the bar above it was colored green. But when we came to this buy signal, what was the color of the bar? Red. So right there, you would have known I should not be buying here. And in fact, I may want to use one of my exit points that we teach you in the course to get out of all the money I've made here. And that would have been a good idea. And you would never have taken this trade. And the beauty of this is if you like to trade on the sell side as well, you could have bought puts or sold short the stocks, because when the markets are going down, strategy number 4 generates sell signals. And each and every one of these signals was colored red by the pet D, confirming that it was going lower. Now we know that a lot of people don't necessarily just day trade stocks. We have a lot of investors, maybe swing traders, all right? So they may look at a different time frame, like a longer time frame, so they're in the trade longer. Maybe they want to invest. Maybe they want to swing trade. All right, let's look at a weekly dynamic duo signal. This is in Netflix. This is a weekly chart of Netflix. Each one of these bars represents a week, the week's action. This is going back to January, beginning of this year, some nearly 8 months ago, okay? All right, so the stock is doing well. Let's say you were thinking of getting in and maybe you hadn't gotten in yet, but now that you've taken my course, now you've studied my material and stuff, you see that you want to verify a buy signal because you think you should be purchasing this right here. Where everyone is thinking it's rolling over, you think that that's actually a buying opportunity. You click on strategy 4, click on the signal arrow. Makes no difference because we're looking at a longer term, because we're investing as opposed to day trading. It makes absolutely no difference. Use the same process, and guess what? A buy signal was generated. So strategy 4, according to its rules, its 5 rules, is telling you this is a valid buy signal. But remember, we have to confirm it in order to give us a higher level of consistency. It's as simple as clicking on the pet D and then seeing what color it is. And if we notice, Netflix has been green the entire time. Even though we had a sell-off here, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of downward movement, what were the color of the bars? They were all green. So this was telling you that even though the stock is headed lower, as it was headed here, the pet D is saying that these are all sell-offs in an uptrend. So don't get confused that we're topping out. So we confirmed, and we have a high level of consistency that this stock was going higher. This was in April, all right? This was roughly about 3 or 4 months ago that you could have taken advantage of going long Netflix. You could have purchased the stock in your 401k plan, or you could have maybe bought some options or bought the stock just for yourself. And coming into this last month, the stock went up over 108 points. You could have captured up to 108 points. Okay, that's how simple it was. And remember, we furnish you with variable places to exit to protect yourself. So before we go into question and answers, let's recap, okay? Remember, most traders say they trade with a purpose, but it's been my opinion that traders do not. That's why it's been estimated that 80 to 85% of all traders fail, because you're blindly either just entering into a trade, not knowing where you're going to get in, not knowing where you're going to get out, not even knowing the reason why you did it, maybe because your friend does it, so that's why you do it, or your family member invests in this, or you figure if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. This is trading without a purpose. It's really a recipe for disaster. Remember, think of the analogy I said earlier about walking down the street. If you're walking down the street, maybe stopping to get something to eat, an ice cream cone, window shopping, just taking your time, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you should not trade the same way. You need to trade the same way people walk in New York, with a purpose and a clear-cut plan as to where you're going, when you'll get there, where which direction you're going in, and walking at a good rapid pace. That's the same thing as trading with a purpose. So how do we do that? Well, we need our first requirement, which is a clear-cut trading plan, and that's strategy number 4. As I said earlier, I've been using this strategy in some capacity for the last 4 decades. I used it this morning. That's how simple and how powerful it is. You can use it in any market and any time frame. It's an extremely consistent method. Does that mean every trade's a winner? No. So is there a way to increase our odds for success? Yes, we need a tool that can filter out some of these losing trades and confirm the ones that are winners, and that's the PET-D. Probably one of our most powerful tools we have at Specialist Trading. I was first introduced to it some 40 years ago, and I also use it on a daily basis as well. Now, when you combine these two things, this combo, we've created our dynamic duo. This is our synergy for success and consistency, our most popular package and educational package we have today at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. And you see how simple it is to implement this. Everything is one click away by simply applying our new PTS Primo charting platform. So as we close here, I want you to ask yourself, and ask yourself honestly, do you think these edges could have helped your trading this past year? We're into the 8th month. Today is August 1st, okay? Are you anywhere near where you wanted to be on January 1st, okay? Most likely you're not. So why don't you do yourself a favor? Get on board with becoming a purposeful, consistent trader. We have a great offer for you today. Here's a great attendee discount for all the people in attendance. We're going to offer our dynamic duo. This is our dynamic duo special. This is strategy number 4 along with the PET-D tool. You're going to get instant course access, detailed instruction. We're going to learn all about the exact entries, exits, and stop placement variables. You're also going to get those signal alerts, give the green up and down arrows and red arrows so that you'll know when a buy and sell signal has been generated. This comes with the PET-D that automatically colors the bars. This includes both add-ons, so if you have a platform that you're happy with, we can give you these add-ons that you can upload so that you can see when the up and down arrows and the colors are generated. Also includes mentoring correspondence with yours truly. But we're not going to stop there. We're not going to just give you a great deal on the dynamic duo. We're also going to throw in 12 months of our platform. That will make it extremely simple for you to implement our dynamic duo. Now, 12 months of the PTS Primo charts will usually run over $1,900. Guess what? We're not going to charge you that. In fact, we're not going to charge you anything at all. We're giving you 12 months absolutely free of the platform. So that is included with this, all right? We're not going to charge anything, but once you become a course member of the Dynamic Duo course, you will automatically get 12 months free of the platform. Let me show you what's offered in this, because we're not just going to give you those 3 things. This is what's included. Obviously, you're getting trading strategy number 4, all the rules. You'll know exactly where to enter, where to exit. You're going to get the PET-D trend identifier. It's going to automatically color the bars for you. And so you'll have the up and down arrows with strategy 4 as well as the trend identifier. But you're also going to get a brand new feature that we've included because we're always making changes and upgrading our platform. You're going to get our proprietary exit levels. Now remember, we give you a host of different ways to enter, to exit, but we've also placed one of these different exit variables on the platform. Let me show you how simple this is. So everything is just one click away. As we look at this chart in Facebook, remember we issued a buy signal here, or the strategy issued a buy signal, but then this took place. So how could you have protected yourself? Well, when you're trading with a purpose, you have a clear-cut plan for exiting, and we give you many different variables. One of them would have been by using our range extension, all right? This is our proprietary way of using one of our exit plans. We explain to you how it's calculated, so it's not just a black box feature. But once you click this on in the Strategy 4 tab, it will automatically give you different host of exit points. Had you taken the second exit point and known in advance exactly, it tells you exactly where that is, you could have placed an order and taken a close to 11-point gain, and you would not have been hurt with this sell-off that happened. This is one click away on our platform. So prior to even entering the trade, you know where some of the exit levels could be. This is included as well. We're also going to give you 90 of the most popular and powerful technical indicators because we know we have a lot of technicians who like to experiment with different indicators. But we're also including our signal scanner. And we know that not everyone is able to be in front of their computer 24/7, okay? So if you have to work, which we understand, but you want to come home at night and not look through an entire list of the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ 100 or the Russell 2000, you just want to know what the signals are for today. Let me show you how simple it is. Once again, you would just simply click on strategy number 4. In this case, you would click on scanner. Another drop-down window appears. This is our scanner page. you would click load symbols, and we provide you with a symbol list, S&P, NASDAQ, Bitcoin, futures, currency pairs, whatever you're interested in trading. And then you simply wait for it to appear. And there's the spreadsheet of whatever you're interested in looking at. And then you would simply click on scan, and in a matter of seconds, you'll see a series of green or red horizontal bars. The green bars mean that there's a buy signal for tomorrow for the next day in the corresponding stock. The red means there's a sell signal. That's how simple it is. You come home, and in less than a couple of minutes, you'll know what the setups are for the next day. Now, let me share with you what you could have found just a couple of weeks ago using this scanning process, because the scanning process would have seen that there was a buy signal generated on the close of the 12th, the evening of July 12th, in MEDP. All right. So if you were a member of our dynamic duo course, here's how simple it would have been. You would have scanned. In a couple of minutes, you would have seen this, a couple of signals. You could have seen, well, let me check out MEDP. All right. Well, there's a buy signal, but it doesn't look like much is really happening. We're just kind of basically going sideways here. It's a cheap enough stock for me. It's only $40, $44. But I want a little bit more consistency. So since you are a method, or I should say a member of the dynamic duo method, the next step would simply be to click on the PET D. And there it was. It's colored green. So it is confirmed by the PET D that this is a high-level setup of consistency. Could have taken this setup on the 12th, a couple of weeks ago, and as you can see, that's 20 points in 3 weeks. The stock went up. Now, did we have any idea it was going to gap up like this? Absolutely not. But remember, you're in charge of your trading. You could have taken this trade and made 1 or 2 points. You could have held out for the entire 20 or maybe even more. This is what trading with a purpose is, when you're in charge of your own trading destiny. So you could have scanned for that using our nightly scanner. Now, remember, as I stated at the very opening of the presentation, we are an educational company. It's not our goal to tell you how or how not to trade. Even though none of our methods rely on fundamental or economic news, we're not going to tell you can't look at that. It's not required. I don't look at it. I'm still here. But if you feel that you need to look at business reports, you need to look at economic news as it's happening, you need to see what the jobless claims are, we're providing you with free Bloomberg TV. This comes included on the platform. In fact, all you have to do is click on our media page tab, and another window opens up, and there's our media page. So you can be watching live Bloomberg TV. You can watch all the announcements, earnings reports. You can be watching jobless claims, all the economic news as it's happening. Okay, a lot of our students like to keep the media page on as they're looking at the charts. And then lastly, this all comes with personalized tech support. If for any reason, let's say you can't open up a chart, or you don't know how to access the media page, or you're having a little difficulty figuring out how to use the PET D, we have a great tech support that will be there to resolve any issue you may have in a matter of moments. This is all included free, 12 months free with the Dynamic Duo package. So let me just break it down for you here. You're getting strategy 4, the PET D, along with 12 months of the PTS Primo charts. If you purchase these separately, strategy 4 would cost you close to $700. The PET D would be more expensive because it's more powerful. It would cost you close to $3,000. And 12 months of the PTS Primo charts would be over $1,900. So altogether, you would have to spend roughly $5,600. That's a lot of money. We realize not everyone has been trading for a while or has those types of funds. So we're slashing the price. We're not going to charge you $5,600. In fact, we're slashing the price by over 55%, down to $24.95, which includes 12 months of the PTS Primo charting platform, free. So this is a fantastic offer. Think of it. Think of your own trading. I'm sure many of you probably lost more than that in your first couple of months of this year. Think if you had invested in yourself and had this for a lifetime, how well you would hopefully been able to get back on track. This is what we're here to do. We want to educate you so that you can be in charge of your own trading. So here's how to take advantage of this. Contact Pro Trader Strategies. I developed the platform and all of our courses and all of our education with them. You can either email them or call them directly at area code 310-598-6067. Now, the link you see here at the bottom is the link that will take you to the sign-up page. Now, it's not a live link, I believe, but if you look in the chat box on the far right, a live link was just posted. So all you have to do is click that on. It will automatically take you to the sign-up page. So I would suggest if you're having difficulty or having trouble making a decision, there's absolutely no obligation. I would contact them. I would call Pro Trader Strategies, perhaps see if you can put together some type of payment plan. and they'd be more than happy to work with you. There's absolutely no obligation, and they can answer any more questions you have, let's say, about the platform. Now, I'm going to leave this information up here while I open up the question and answer box. And remember, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask them. Just open up the question and answer box on your GoToWebinar column there, the question box, and type in whatever you like. And I'd be happy to answer. Let's see, one of the questions is, where does the PET-D come from? Well, that's a good question. The PET-D is a proprietary and an in-house tool that we're keeping in-house, meaning that we're not divulging the rules because there are plans to possibly lease this out, and we don't want to. A lot of people have tried to steal this idea, and we don't want to have it that open. But so the PET-D comes from, basically, it's a tool based off of, on a tick-by-tick basis, momentum. All right? It's on a tick-by-tick basis, discerning what the momentum is of whatever you're looking at. Either a stock, a future, forex currency pair, Bitcoin, commodity, it makes absolutely no difference. And so what it does is that when I first started using this some 41 years ago, we called it the formula because it was something that is not very difficult, but it was cumbersome, and you had to actually calculate it by hand. And so because of that, we could not apply it to intraday trading, because by the time you figured out what the calculation was, well, then you were ready for the next bar's calculation. So it was too late to use. But with the beauty of high-speed computers and with programmers, we've developed it into a proprietary color bar tool. So all you need to look at is the color of the bar. Now, I know that a lot of people are saying, well, why can't I just know what the formula is? Trust me, if most people even tried to figure out what the formula is, and a lot of people have tried to, if you look online, so many people have a different idea of what the PET-D is, and they're all wrong, by the way. But it wouldn't even matter, because the beauty and the secret of the PET-D is in knowing how to apply it correctly. And most people do not know how to apply it. And so this is what you're getting from someone who's been using it for over 4 decades. You are learning the proper way to apply the PET-D. And that's the secret of it, not in its actual formula, okay? Naveen is asking, can you use live trading charts, please? Well, Naveen, this is a PowerPoint presentation. I don't have access to live charts right now because all of our presentations are on PowerPoint because they're educational. We're not trying to trade here for you. And there's once again, that goes against, there's a certain way of people looking at that, and then they turn that into a crutch. This is not a chat room. We're not sitting here looking at live charts and telling you what to buy and what to sell. We're trying to educate you like a classroom the same way, and then we teach you in our program so that you can understand how to apply it yourself. So we don't want to go through this crutch of looking at live charts and then have you say, okay, so tell me what I do here, because then you're turning this into a chat room, and we don't believe in chat rooms or things of that nature, okay? We're simply an educational company. We're trying to give you the tools that have stood the test of time. If you don't believe us, we understand. It's good to have some insight into this. So do a Google search on us. Look at all the testimonials. Go to our websites, Specialist Trading or Pro Trader Strategies, and look at all the testimonials of people that have for the first time either been trading, that have never traded before, that are consistent, or that have been trading for years and never made money, and that were able to turn their trading around and become consistent. We're not going to promise you that you're going to become a millionaire. We're not even going to promise you that you're going to be making money right off the bat. We're just trying to educate you so that you can be in sync and make your own trading decisions with the market. That's our sole goal, okay? So nothing is guaranteed. There's no education that's guaranteed. It's up to you what you do with it. But we're here with you every step of the way. That's what we do as an educational company. Remember, there is a reason that the law requires everyone to place a disclaimer on webinars. It's because the majority of things don't work. So even though it's guaranteed that this only loses 5% of the time, why is it required to have a disclaimer? Because most of the time those things blow up and they'll hit some series of losses, and then it'll go into a sustained drawdown. So the only thing that we feel that will keep you out of that trouble is educating yourself, okay? Question, what does Strategy 4 run on other than a PTS charts? For example, NinjaTrader or eSignal? Oh, that's a great question. The major platforms that you can apply Strategy 4 as well as the PET-D are NinjaTrader, TradeStation, Sierra Charts, MT4, Metastock, And you can even apply it with Thinkorswim. But Thinkorswim, the way they're set up, they don't allow people to use their indicators or strategies on. They only want their products on there. But they do allow us, they said it's okay if you use our data. So what we do if you are a Thinkorswim member is we simply give you a free platform of NinjaTrader, and then you can use their data, Thinkorswim data, to apply our methods on to the NinjaTrader. But for all intents and purposes, why would you do that when the platform is the simplest way? Trust me, I've used all of these platforms, and our platform is the simplest way to apply each and every one of these, and you're going to get 12 months of it free with it. So these are the best things. So if you like to use another platform, well, you can always have both of them up at the same time, our PTS Primo charting platform as well as NinjaTrader, and toggle back and forth. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of our students do that. So for the best, in my opinion, and I'm really, I designed the platform with ProTrader strategies to make it as simple as possible. The PTS Primo charting platform is the best way to apply the dynamic duo combo, okay? Now, some people are asking about payment plans. Sure, there is absolutely no problem with talking to ProTrader strategies. That's what they do. I'm in charge of the educational portion of our company. They're in charge of payments, of discounts, of technical support. So there's no obligation. Feel free to call them up at the number provided, and they would be happy to work with you, okay? Come up some type of payment plan. They would be more than happy to work with you to meet your needs, okay? And all of you. So we realize that not everyone can come up with $24.95, even though we've slashed the price by 55% in good faith to get you on board. We understand that still may be a lot for people. So contact ProTrader Strategies. They may be able to structure some type of payment plan. But each one's going to be a little bit different depending on your needs, okay? As we close here, we have some great questions. Those are great. I want to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. Remember, our most consistent as well as popular package we have at Specialist Trading is the Dynamic Duo. It's a great way to get your trading back on track. The year is half over, all right? If you want to get back on track with consistency, why not come on board with this great offer, this great discount, as well as 12 months of the platform, okay? Don't hesitate. Contact ProTrader Strategies. They'd be happy to work with you, and then they can establish a payment plan, get you on board. You can be up and running as early as today, okay? And you can also have mentoring correspondence with myself teaching you. You can contact me through email so that I can make sure that you're learning and then going in the right direction, okay? All right, as we take one last look at our disclaimers here, by law we're required to show you this. As you take one last look, remember, thank you so much for attending. Feel free to watch this video that we'll send you the link to, but remember, don't sit on it because the offer may be ending within the next few days. So you want to take advantage of it as soon as possible. Thank you so much for attending. I wish you the best of luck. Hope to see you next time and in one of my classes. Bye-bye.